Hey everyone, so I am on to talk about the third episode of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Now, I did enjoy this episode. I found it a little bit slow paced in parts, but aside from that, I really enjoyed this overall. There was a lot of hilarity, there was a lot of action, and that's what I really loved about this episode. We had Sharon Carter in there kicking ass. But to start from the beginning, at the end of last week's episode, as I was saying, we got to see at the very end the character Simo, who was fantastically played in this episode. I thought he was absolutely brilliant. So Bucky and Sam basically break him out of prison, and what I loved was the hilarity in this, but I will get to that in this episode. But they basically broke him out, and because they wanted to use him to help them find out, who is the creator, who has made this new serum, the super soldier serum. But I really love the hilarity with, of course, Sam and Bucky. When Simo, Bucky and Sam were obviously wanting to find out, who is the creator of this new super soldier serum, and they all had to go. Simo was like, we're going to have to go in a disguise, so Bucky, you're going to have to go as Winter Soldier, yada yada. And it was hilarious. He had this suit on, and he said, oh, out of all of us, something like, why do I have to be the only one that looks like a pimp? And I thought that was just absolutely hilarious, and I really do love the funny humour in the show between Bucky and Sam's character. I really do like that, and I absolutely love Sebastian Stan. I think he's a fantastic actor, and I love Bucky. Honestly, Captain America the Winter Soldier is definitely one of my top 3 favourite Marvel movies, just in case anybody's interested, and if anybody else is interested, probably not surprised to hear that Bucky is my favourite character in this show, basically. So Sharon Carter, she basically turns up in this episode, and I think she's fantastic. Of course, if you've watched all the Marvel movies, we know who Sharon Carter is. And she basically helped them discover that the dude that created this new serum, this new super soldier serum, basically works for a figure called Power Broker. And at the end, what was really super cool was we got to see Ayo. But before we get there, guys, sorry, apologies, kind of going off on a tangent. I absolutely loved all the action scenes with Sharon Carter, Sam, Bucky, Simo, all that. That was class. That was really, really cool. The duck and cover and everything, and the whole fighting and action, guns shooting and all sorts. I thought that was really enjoyable. To be honest, that was my favourite part of this whole entire episode. Now, it was a little bit slow paced in some parts, but it did pick up as it went along. And one thing I will say is I like the longevity of these episodes for The Falcon and the Winter Soldier rather than the WandaVision ones, because the WandaVision ones were, say, 20-21 minutes, but then you had 8 to 10 minutes of credits. And I think for any type of series or show, it shouldn't be that length. So I really prefer the length of these than WandaVision, because I think you get more of a watch out of them, if that makes sense. So yes, we got to see Ayo at the end, and of course she's from Black Panther, and let's remember Bucky did spend a lot of time in Wakanda, and we see her at the end, and this is probably the first time, obviously Bucky has seen her since the fight at Avengers Endgame, on the battlefield, basically. So that was cool seeing her at the end. And as well, I suppose it was kind of somewhat so hinted, maybe I could be delving too much into it, but when Bucky was speaking to his therapist, pretty sure it was the first episode, and I think he said something along the lines that pretty much when he was in Wakanda, that was the only time he sensed peace. So I find that super interesting, because that, I suppose, was given as a nudge, but we didn't realize at the time, or at least I didn't realize at the time. But now that we had Ayo at the very, very end of this, face to face with Bucky, then that's probably why he was. That was probably mentioned at his therapist session. But yeah, overall there was great action in this, great humor. There was something at the beginning, and it's gone out of my head now, that I really want to mention, a joke that Sam said to Bucky. Bucky was like, oh no, you can't go in, you're one of the Avengers or something, and he was like, oh, it's not like yous are off in the sun together or something, like, or frolicking. That's what it was. It's not like you two have been frolicking in the sun or something together either, or something along them lines. It was really funny anyways. So I hope that you enjoyed this episode. What did you think? Let me know down in the comments below if you enjoyed this episode. Did you not enjoy this episode? And if you did like it, why? If you didn't like it, why? I want to hear all your thoughts and opinions, and who is your favourite character from this show. And other than that, guys, I will see you in my next video, and of course next week I will be coming on again, and I will be reviewing episode 4 of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So thanks very much for watching, guys. Bye!